Top 10 creepiest or most disturbing silent movies. Haunted House. Also known as La Maison Escorlie, or The Witch House, or The House of Ghosts if translated into English, Haunted House was one of those short silent movies. Made in France in 1908, it's one of the first films to deal with paranormal activity. A group of people are forced to spend the night at a haunted house, and many spooky events occur, such as disappearing objects, reappearing objects, clothes that walk on their own, and self-feeding tea kettle and bread cutting. This film does have a silly nature to this, so people can say it is also comic relief. However, the thing I find the most disturbing in this film is that thing. What is that thing? The appearance of the ghost is really off-putting, especially as if making to look to be female. Believe it or not, this film inspired me to make a film on Xplodin Film called A Night at the Haunted House. I'll put a link in the description. The Astronomer's Dream. Also known as La Rive de Astronome, or The Moon at 1 meter. This film also came from France. Made in 1898, this short film consists as an astronomer falling asleep and sees many visions, such as Satan and a beautiful woman who both vanish. The visions I find the most disturbing is a giant moon that comes into the building and eats the telescope and spits out children. It doesn't help either that the moon eats the astronomer in the dream. I find that really creepy. I prefer to have that moon in the sky. A la Barbe. Also known as A Beard, or A Funny Shave, this was another film came from France in 1905. The film itself is not so bad. All it is a man who is shaving decides to taste his own shaving cream. When that happens, a series of grotesque images come from the mirror, with the last one causing him to break his mirror. The thing I find the most disturbing is that how much these images devolve as the film progresses. Un Chien Andalou. Also known as An Andalusian Dog, this was a French silent film from 1929 and was written by Salvador Dali. There is no real plot behind this movie. Instead, there are very surreal images that the audience will definitely remember. This includes a girl's eyeball being sliced in half or having insects living in a man's hand and crawling out of it. If you are very squeamish with this type of imagery, I suggest avoid watching this movie. Frankenstein. This film was one of the first movie adaptations of all time by Thomas Edison. Made in the United States in 1910, shows a lot of disturbing imagery of how the monster has been created. The reason why this movie became so famous in the first place is because the use of imagery they used on the monster. This film is disturbing and creepy, but also a work of art, and is cherished by many people, especially due to the fact that this film was lost for decades, until people rediscovered it in the 1960s. Thank God we can enjoy this classic once again. The Portrait. Not much information is known for this movie, as only 8 minutes out of 45 minutes has survived to this day. This film came from Russia in 1915. As for the remaining 8 minutes of the film that survived, shows a man who wants to cover up a creepy painting, only for it to come to life and terrify the person. The person in the portrait has a creepy appearance, makes the film very disturbing, especially when people have said a lot of paranormal occurrences happen with paintings. Just don't keep a painting of me when I die. I don't want you all scared. L'Inferno. This film came from Italy in 1911. It is the oldest surviving film of Dante's view of hell. This shows the audience what life was like in the underworld and sees a lot of scary imagery. This includes a man holding his own severed head, or Satan eating a person head first. The main imagery used in this movie is very disturbing and too mainstream for the casual person. Seeing a demon eat someone makes my stomach turn. This proves that this can make anyone's skin crawl 100 years later. Häxan. Translated to The Witches or Witchcraft Throughout the Ages in English, this film was made in Sweden in 1922. This entire film was dedicated to describe how satanic and dark the medieval times can be. This film showcases the use of witchcraft and demons coming from hell. The most disturbing parts of the film is probably revealing the devil himself. It bothers me more for the cards to say, "The devil is everywhere." That is really disturbing. A Page of Madness. This film was made in Japan in 1926. The entire film showcases an insane asylum for the mentally ill people. It makes it very dark that some of the people in this movie wear scary masks, and the fact that the imagery we use in this film is like looking into the mind of an insane person. This film was actually lost until it was found in storage in 1971. The story consists of a man taking a job at the asylum in order to take care of his wife. He attempts to rescue her in order to stop her from becoming mentally insane, just like the other people from the asylum. This is a very dark movie and a very disturbing movie to watch, but this is what makes this film a work of art. Begotten. Made in the United States in 1990, this film has to be one of the bloodiest and most grotesque imagery I've ever seen in a silent film. The entire movie consists of a religious experiments of mutilation of body parts with torturing and suffering of the victims. It's a very dark subject when religion is involved, but the story consists of God himself constantly stabbing himself and cutting his insides out in order to create a Mother Earth who rises from his remains. The Son of Earth is seized by a group of nomads who force him to vomit all his insides and tear him apart and burn his body. Mother Earth encounters this event, and the nomads do very dark things such as molest her. The rest of the film is left to her mourning over her lifeless body of the Son of Earth. The scenes are very gory for a film, and I had a very hard time watching this entire film. Although it is a topic such as cults and religions in this film, the nightmare fuel consists the mutilation and cruelty that will cause the squeamish to not want to watch this. I suggest avoiding watching this film at all costs.